All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got a Sunday slate of NBA games. Happy Sunday to everyone out there. We only have 4 games on the slate today. Not the best games either, but we're going to jump into each game. I'm going to give you my thoughts, give you what I'm thinking, how I am feeling about the game, but my final plays, like I always tell you guys, my final plays will be in the pinned comment. We do have another car video. Hopefully the camera and the audio and all that quality isn't terrible, but we will try to get back to, the obviously the normal setup momentarily. So, guys, just stay tuned for that. Hopefully you can get through this just for another video or so here. But guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're turning things around on the channel. I want to get to 13,000 subscribers now too. That is a huge goal of ours by the end of the year, 13,000 subscribers. We just hit 12,000 a week and a half ago or so. I still want to put together a 12,000 subscriber giveaway. I think we're going to give away some Fade Me merch to a couple winners. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. But hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We got a few plays to jump into today, guys. And like I said, it's not the most extravagant, the best slate out there. If you're gonna be betting today, you're probably gonna be hammering football versus some of these games, but we still have some leans that we do want to jump into here, guys. So first game on the slate is going to be the Lakers hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. A couple injuries or injury statuses to keep an eye on here. LeBron James, he's been upgraded to Pro Bowl, so he's probably going to play. Anthony Davis is questionable as of right now for the Lakers. The Lakers, I don't want to say they're turning things around, but have won 2 out of their last 3. They did drop their most recent game to Utah, so they lost and didn't cover there either. They were 3.5-point favorites there, but they beat Denver outright as underdogs. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans outright as underdogs. That game went to OT, but they're playing a Cleveland Cavaliers team that has not lost and has not covered since opening night. Did I say that right? Has not covered. This team lost and didn't cover to Toronto, and they only didn't cover by a 0.5 point opening night. So this is almost just barely missing the mark of an undefeated against the spread team in Cleveland this season here. In terms of injuries, Donovan Mitchell is questionable, and so is Darius Garland. Major injuries to keep an eye on there. So I am gonna I'm probably going to lean. I don't like this play at all. I doubt this becomes a final play, so I give you a little sneak peek. You don't even need to find this game in the final comments, in the pinned comment, excuse me, but I don't think that this game becomes a final play. But I'm gonna lean Cleveland just because they are so much better than the Lakers from a team perspective. But there's a couple injuries that you got to watch, and throw in the fact that LeBron, playing Cleveland again, you never really know what can happen. So I'm not willing to gamble my money on this game. I'm sticking away from it here. But I guess if I would say I would change my lean if Garland and Mitchell are both out, right? So if those guys are both out and Anthony Davis plays and LeBron plays, then I would switch over to leaning Cleveland here, plus the points, plus 3.5. They might have to, maybe it jumps down to +2 or +1.5, something like that. But injuries dependent, I probably still lean Cleveland unless Mitchell and Garland are out there. In terms of a total, we have a 223 total. Very on the fence. My model has us going right around 225, so that's a little bit too close for comfort here. If anything, I lean over, but doubt it becomes a final play. So, guys, I'm sorry to open the video with a game that I don't love, but there's only 4 games on the slate tonight. You don't want to force anything. We're turning things around. Like I said, we're on a 5-2 run. Before that, we had 2 negative days. And then we had a 4-1 day and a 1-1 day. So, 5-2 run in the last 2 days. I will take that. We don't want the 1-1. Screw that. But overall, looking at a big picture, 5-2 in the last 2 days is a good run. Then we'll take it. All right, next up we have Toronto taking on Chicago. I saw this line and almost jumped right to it, and then I did a little bit more research. Toronto is a 1.5 favorite here at home. Total is 219.5. I will say I really like the over in this game, so keep that in mind. That has a strong chance to be a final play. But Toronto, I almost pulled the trigger right away. I was like, I think Toronto is a pretty good team when it comes to matching up with the Bulls here. Both these teams phenomenal against the spread. Bulls 6-3-1 this season against the spread. Toronto 7-2. I almost pulled the trigger, like I said, and then I looked into it a little bit more. Fred VanVleet is questionable, and Pascal Siakam downgraded to doubtful. So 2 of the best players on that Toronto team may not play. Looks like Siakam probably won't play, and Fred VanVleet, we're still waiting on that. But if Fred VanVleet's a go, I still think that I lean Toronto pretty heavily in this one, -1.5. Again, I like the over regardless of injuries. Also should note Chicago's Zach LaVine is questionable here, so it kind of stinks. All of these games right now, have some injuries to note, like the one that we're going to talk about coming up has some notable injuries as well. So it's tough. I forgot. I mean, you guys know the NBA works like that, but I forgot that the NBA will have these like, oh, it's a Sunday night, a Sunday game. Like, let's see if this guy's questionable. Maybe he doesn't play, all that BS in the NBA. But yeah, injuries dependent here. I still lean Toronto minus the 1.5, and I think that like regardless of what the injury status is of Levine or Van Vliet or Pascal Siakam, I think I like over 219.5. So keep an eye on the pinned comment, guys. I always say that we got an idiot in the comments yesterday, and you guys know I love the comments. I love the love comments, the like comments, the dislike comments, the hate comments. But when you start spewing BS in the comments, I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? We're all having a good time here. You guys know that, watch each and every day. I'm transparent as you know what. I'll call myself a dummy. I have a brand called Fade Me, and I make betting videos. So you're not going to hurt my feelings by saying, oh, this is a bad pick, you stink at this. I'm like, whatever you say, buddy, you have a good day. You know what I mean? So I just love seeing when someone has a negative comment and then some of you guys jump in being like, you must be new here, right? Like someone said that yesterday, and I was like, yeah, that's a great response. You know, we're all having a good time. We're talking about sports here. So let's pump the brakes a little bit. But yeah, guys, don't want to go on too much of a rant here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you are watching to this point in the video, we've been doing this and I've been having a blast doing this. Let's drop a, what's the word of the day? I should probably have these words of the days planned before the video, but let's just drop Sunday. Sunday. I'm working on my spelling too when it comes to this, but just drop Sunday in the comments, guys, to show that you are watching around the 7-minute mark here, because we're going to wrap up pretty soon. Hit that like button. I keep saying it. Let's keep getting a bunch of likes on these videos, guys. It helps show it to other people. You get more people in the community and all that good stuff here. But all right, enough of a ramble here. We got Memphis taking on Washington here. Memphis 10.5-point favorites. And that one, I'm like, what? And then Bradley Beal is out today. That's what I was talking about. We had an injury coming up in a game we're talking about. So it almost throws this game out of the window for me. Like, sure, I'll lean Memphis, because without Bradley Beal, I'm not leaning Washington, even though Porzingis has played pretty good. Kuzma looks pretty good. Like, I get that, but 10.5 points seems like a lot of points. I just don't totally love it. So quite simply, I lean Memphis and don't think that there's a shot in hell this becomes a final play. The total is 225.5. I think that this game could be a little up tempo, so I'm going to peek at the over. I do still have some more numbers to crunch in this one, but I don't hate 225.5 as the total here. These teams recently in their games here, Washington allowed 128 to Brooklyn. They scored 121, allowed 111 to the Sixers, allowed 118 to the Sixers, allowed 112 to Boston, allowed 127 to Indiana, scored 120 against Detroit. And Memphis here scored 130 against Charlotte, allowed 121 to Utah, 123 to 124 game. In a few of these games this season for both teams, a lot of points have been scored. So I do peek at the over. All right, last game on the slate here, guys. Another injury to note, which isn't the biggest injury, but Kawhi Leonard is out for the Clippers. We got the Clippers taking on the Utah Jazz here. Clippers 4.5-point favorites at home. A little surprising to me in the sense that they just haven't been playing that great of basketball, and Utah has been playing good basketball. 7-3 straight up, 7-3 against the spread this season, whereas the Clippers are only 3-6 against the spread. They are positive straight up. They're 5-4 this season here, but I'm going to lean Utah. Again, injuries to note here. Kawhi Leonard is downgraded to out. So is Luke Kennard. And then Robert Covington, questionable here for the Clippers. And then Utah does not have any injuries to note here whatsoever. So let's just take a look at these recent games here. Utah's covered 4 straight games against Memphis, Dallas, and then the Lakers. I wouldn't say that's a quality cover, but those other 3 are quality covers. The Clippers actually coming off of 2 straight covers here, but against bad teams. Houston and San Antonio. And in fact, before that Houston game, they lost to Houston. So I'm not big on the Clippers right now. That doesn't mean that I won't be come the end of the year when maybe Kawhi Leonard's a full go, Paul George hits his stride. They have a few guys on that team that are going to be instrumental role players as well. But to start the season, as of right now, I'm not big on the Clippers. So I'm going to lean Utah in this game for sure. I don't love the total either way. 223 seems like a pretty good line for me in this game. So I'm sticking away from that. But yeah, that is all that I have for you guys today. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I usually don't plead for all these algorithm boosters like subscribe, comment, like, but guys, it's Sunday, we're vibing, feeling good. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Catch you guys in the next video. We'll be back in the studio shortly. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.